So we've looked at some languages which have a fixed basic word order, like English, which has subject, verb, object. But there are also languages of the world which have free word order, and they come in two different types. The first type is fairly common. Languages like Russian, Greek, Latin, and Japanese have this particular property. That is, they have a basic word order. So they have a usual order of subject, verb, and object, but you can mix those up, usually for some kind of discourse effect. And the reason that they can do this and move things around and still know who's doing what to whom is because these languages have a morpheme which they place on each noun phrase in the sentence, which tells you what its role is, whether it's the subject or whether it's the object. And these morphemes are called case markers. So let's take a look at an example from Japanese. Japanese uses suffixes on its noun phrases to tell you what the roles are. So nominative is the case which is associated with subjects, and accusative is the case which is associated with the object role. Here's a basic sentence of Japanese in the typical word order. Man, which is the subject, followed by child, which is the object, followed by the verb, SOV. This is a typical word order in Japanese. But here we have a different sentence. The words are in the same order. We still have the man first, the child second, and verb last. But notice that the case marking has changed. Now the word man has the accusative suffix, which tells us that man is now the object. Child now has the nominative suffix, which means it must be the subject. So even though it still goes man, child, see? Now it's OSV word order, and it means the child saw the man. There's another kind of free word order languages in the world, and this kind is actually quite rare, although a lot of the Aboriginal languages of Australia have this property. In these languages you can put the subject, object and verb in whatever order you want. There is no underlying basic word order. So Warlpiri, an Australian language, is famous for having profoundly free word order. And in fact in Australian languages it's usually true that you can also have noun phrases where the words within that phrase don't even have to come next to each other. They can be scattered throughout the whole sentence. Nothing has to be ordered in any particular way. Again, they use case markers to tell you who's doing what. But closer to home, we have a more local language, Tohono O'odham, which has really free word order, and it has no overt case marking. So in these languages, the sentences are just ambiguous. In O'odham, you can't tell based on word order or based on affix marking what is the subject and what's the object. So let's take a look at what that would look like. We want a nice basic simple transitive sentence. The dog is chasing the cat. We can put the words in SVO order, and it means the dog is chasing the cat. We can also put them in OVS or VSO order, and it still means the dog is chasing the cat. And in fact, you can put it in VOS, SOV, and OSV, all of the possible orders of elements, and it can still mean the dog is chasing the cat. Every one of these can mean that. It makes no difference how you order them. And just to make life complicated, any one of these sentences could also mean the cat is chasing the dog.